to tell it like it is, someone who I know for a fact, when she wins, she's gonna go up to Washington and she's gonna let them know that South Texas is on the map. Now, I want y'all to clap and cheer so loud that they hear you all the way up in Guadalupe County for our next Congresswoman, Miss Michelle Vallejo.
Yeah!
And I have so much love for each and every one of you. We love you, It is the honor of a lifetime to be fighting for our home and to make sure that everyone knows across the country que aquí en el sur de Texas nosotros nos defendemos. As many of you know, hopefully everybody in this room, I am Michelle Vallejo, and I am your Democratic nominee, fighting to represent our home in Congress, to have a loud voice, a proud voice that will represent us with honor and dignity, so that we finally have a chance at a life, at a good quality life, every stage of the way, from our children to new parents, to those who are taking care of their elderly, and our abuelitos, who we know we love so, so much. Yeah. South Texas deserves good quality health care that is affordable and that is right here. No one should be forced to go to Mexico. No one should be forced to drive hours and hours away to get the care that they need. We also need good paying jobs. I love that I come from a hardworking family of immigrants, of people from Mexico who came here with that American dream to create a better life for me and my family. And I grew up at the Pulga, and I have so much honor coming from there because I grew up working with my community, working with my family, and that is exactly what we're doing here. Viva la Pulga! Sí, a los trabajadores, por eso luchamos. I'm also fighting to make sure that our children have the best life that they possibly could have. We deserve the best education. We deserve the best opportunities. We deserve the best jobs. And our children and family should not be forced or feel like they have to leave to become someone. We love our home. We love our children. And we need to pull every resource from Congress, from Washington, D.C. down here. And I tell everybody, this is a fair warning, when I get to Congress, I'm not coming alone. I'm coming with my entire community.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! ¡Sí se puede!
Sí se puede. Claro que sí. So, what we know so far in this race is that Democrats are coming out more than Republicans, but we cannot take that for granted. I need each and every one of you to help me, to bring your family members, to bring your neighbors, to bring your grandparents out, people who might feel disengaged by politics and by government because they never saw solutions, they never saw answers. But this is South Texas fighting for South Texas, and I need everybody in this fight with me. We are on our path to victory, and it is exactly because people like you are showing up, fighting back, and we're voting. And we're going to send a message not just to our community in South Texas, not just in the state of Texas, but nationwide. The Latinos, you do not take advantage of us. You do not come into our communities and pour in millions and millions of dollars to try to spread propaganda and make it seem like our home is a place of chaos. We live in some of the safest communities across the nation.
That's right.
We have some of the hardest working people, some of the brightest minds, and that's what we're going to be known for. That's why I'm going to Congress.
¡Vamos por 15! Woo!
I am so grateful for all of the work that all of you have put in so far. The countless hours that my team has put in, the countless hours that our local Democratic Party, our state Democratic Party, and leaders, like the one that we're about to hear from, willing to put in their name on the line and say, I'm standing up for South Texas too. And that's exactly how we're going to keep fighting. Juntos. We're going to keep winning this race. And now it is my distinct honor to introduce a leader that has been showing up here in South Texas, that respects our home and doesn't use it as a political game or a backdrop. Someone who shows up, and actually someone that I got to see drive past my elementary school when I was 7 years old back in 1997. I saw him wave his hand outside of the limo, and it was such a distinct difference from when, unfortunately, our previous president would come down, close down streets, and scare people away. That's not leadership. That's fear. And we stand up against that. So now it is my honor to introduce to you all our 42nd president of this beautiful country, President Bill Clinton.
That woman is the future of South Texas and the future of America. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the Republicans say they represent America's values, that you can't be for us because all the things they say.
Yes.
I was backstage talking to your former Congressman Ravini Hinojosa, who reminded me, he said, look at what the economy of South Texas was before you became president, and gave us a chance to have order, there he is, have orderly borders, have orderly immigration, have trade. Look at where Laredo is now. Look at where McAllen is now. And look at where Edinburgh is now compared to 20 years ago. So I want to say thank you to the mayor for meeting me at the airport. Thanks to all the other mayors who are here. Thanks to my longtime friend Henry Cuellar. He gave a great speech and made the case. I want to thank Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, whom I saw briefly at lunch, and my longtime friend Alonso Cantu for hosting us.
We love you and Hillary.
I think
And Chelsea, too.
I think your
And Chelsea.
chair, Mr. Gonzalez, has done a great job up here making and Beto Hinojosa, the state Democratic chair.
Yeah,
I'm
woo!
listening to him make his case. But with all respect, I first came here as a young man. I mean, really young. I know it's hard for the young people here to look at me and think, was this guy ever young? But I first came to this valley
1972.
when I was 25 years old.
Yep. Just like yesterday.
In 1972.
78, too.
And I brought my girlfriend.
Hillary! Hillary!
She
Hillary!
was 24 years old. And Hillary and I fell in love with South Texas. And we have been ever since. And whenever the Democrats in Washington took their eyes off South Texas, we tried to put them back on. If you look at everybody who's running here, we've got here for people with signs for Beto O'Rourke. People with signs for Michelle Vallejo. And others. This is the model of what America ought to be.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I hear the Republicans talking about what a lawless country we are and how none of us care about law and order and all that stuff they say, Well, the serious crime rate in South Texas is lower than it is in the rest of Texas, lower than it is in the rest of the United States, lower than it is by all those states run by all those super tough talking Republicans. Why? Because if your real values are work and family and faith and opportunity, instead of talking in a way that keeps people torn up and upset and divided, you say, we must build a family and we must build the future together. So here's what I want to say. The people, if you send Michelle's Congress, it will send a loud message.
That's right.
If you send all three of these people to Congress,
Yes!
you not only will never be ignored again by the National Party, they may move everything down here. Now, I have to give it to the Republicans. They are the best branders I've ever seen. They all go around and piously tell us how good they are
They lie.
and how bad we are,
They lie.
how strong they are, and how weak we are. And you have to vote for them now
No.
because inflation is high
No, it ain't.
and because some parts of the border are chaotic
No. No.
and because they say we're weak on crime. You gave me a chance to be president.
Yes! Twice!
The second vote I ever won was the meeting of the Mexican American Democrats, either in late 1991 or early 1992. And to get the endorsement of that caucus at the time, you had to have 2/3 of the vote. And there were 7 of us running. And those guys that I was running against, I liked most of them. I thought they were good people, and you know, I'm not like other people. I don't hate politicians. I liked them. I thought they were interesting people. But 85% of the people in South Texas at that Mexican American meeting voted to endorse me, and I never looked back, and I have never forgotten. And we had the lowest crime rate in 25 years, the lowest murder rate in 33 years, the lowest illegal gun homicide rate in 48 years. And when I met with a mother, a father, and another father of 2 of those kids who were killed at Uvalde today, and I looked into their eyes and I felt for them, I wanted to weep. And I'm telling you, we can do better. We can do
We
better.
have to do better. We are.
They said, you know, terrible things about me when I signed the assault weapons ban, and the most important thing was the 10-bullet ammunition clip limit.
That's right.
I said, look, I grew up in hunting culture. I had a .22 when I was 10. I had a .410 shotgun when I was 14. It was very hard for them to say about me the things they all say about the Democrats, because I knew which end of a gun to hold and how to load and unload. But I am telling you, we can hunt, we can sport shoot, and we can protect our families if we live a long way from any kind of law enforcement without a weapon of war that enables us to mow down kids like that corn. So I ask you to think about those families today, because they're changing Uvalde and that whole county. Not because they're Republicans or Democrats, because they became people first again.
Yes.
People who love their children. And that's what we have to do now. We have to become people first again. Look, I'm 76, I'm not going to run for anything, and I'm too old to gild the lily. We got about a 50% chance of losing our democracy if we don't stand up in this election. And as I say, I want to give credit where credit's due. These Republicans are great. They have convinced, like people all over Texas, well, you better vote for us because they are so crazy left wing. You've heard it all, right?
Yes.
All I know is they don't have anything like the record on crime that we established,
That's right.
or the record on economic growth, or most important, the record on shared growth. It was the only time in the last 50 years where the economic growth of both Latinos and African Americans was greater in percentage terms than the economic growth rate of the society as a whole. Not because I favored anybody, but because we grew the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, and not just for people on top. And so, why am I telling you all this? Because think about their argument in this campaign, and you think about Michelle and her family and her platform of shared prosperity and opportunity for all. So what's their shtick? I mean, like I said, they're good at this. I mean, you know, they are hard to beat in a bumper sticker campaign. Their deal is, we got too much inflation. We have a spike in violent crime in a lot of our cities. We have some problems at the border. And we had the whole thing for 4 years. And we went out of our way not to fix the problems at the border so that people would be torn up, upset, and vote for us for no good reason other than we refuse to do the practical, humane, and decent things. If you look at the border in other places, not here, you've already heard what's going on here, but where people don't have the concentration of officers, then the concentration of people and control of the transit routes, you know what's going on. Over in Florida, you've got all those people running away from Venezuela. You have people here largely coming from Central America because they are in the way of the narco trafficking routes. And they have organized gangs and weak states who can't protect them. And then they have all these scandalous traffickers who tell everybody else, get on with us, pay us all the money, and you'll be able to walk in. And that's what happens, isn't it? Isn't that what's going on? Okay, so, and then you've got a lot of your relatives working for the Border Patrol or ICE or whatever, trying to figure out how to make sense of it all. And so more people show up than can be managed. Now, it's obvious, and thank God there is a small group of Democrats and Republicans in the House trying to sort this out now, saying we ought to have 4 big stations in the uncovered areas where we can keep people there, but they can live decently, and they will never be separated from their children, and they will have a decent place to sleep at night, and food to eat, and access to health care. And we will investigate whether they are legally allowed to come now. You know what the legal standard is. If you are afraid for your safety and the safety of your children, our law gives people the right to be accepted here. If you are coming here like most of the rest of your families came because you want your shot at the American dream, you're welcome to apply, but you have to wait with everybody else. We can't let you jump the line.
That's right.
And we have to sort it. And they're more than normal because of the collapse of the economy after COVID and other things in Latin America, which led to the rise of coca production again, which has led to the rise of gangs, and they use the land routes more than other ways. This is a practical problem. God forbid we should change and deal with a practical problem when we can keep people all torn up and upset. Isn't that right? That's what's going on. So their argument is, we have too much inflation, there's a spike in crime, they're in, vote them out. You have to cast a protest vote. That's about it, isn't it? And they're good at it. And so, and they prance around and talk in a very sanctimonious way like they're better than us. And they think they are, by the way. Don't you ever forget that. And so before we get in the car and drive across with them, we got a couple of days here. Or before you think, oh, things are a mess, I don't like anybody and I'm not going to vote, we got a couple of days here. What do you say we think? I came in mad one day when I was a kid because I had a fight with somebody in school, and my mother said, Bill, he tried to make you mad, didn't he? I said he did. She said, anybody that makes you mad is not your friend, because when you're mad, you can't think. I was just in grade school, but I never forgot that. They don't want you to think. They want you to be angry. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be divided. They want you to look at other people and say, our differences are more important than our common humanity. There is no me familia. It's a myth. That's what they want. Right? They want to say, we're better than you. So you say, okay, if I hire you, what will I get? Now, I got to give it to him. And when President Trump was running for re-election, the Republicans became the first party in history ever to run for office without a platform. They said, you know, because they'd already tried to get rid of the health care law, and we whipped them and won the Congress. So they said, we can't tell them what we for. We've basically got to badmouth the Democrats and call them all these cultural names, you know. But this time, the man who wants to be Speaker of the House, if you don't vote for Michelle and you don't re-elect Henry and you don't re-elect Congressman Gonzalez in his new district, Kevin McCarthy from California, he's got a weakness. I mean, for a Republican, he's got a real weakness. He'll tell you what they're fixing to do. I remember when he admitted when they were running those phony hearings against Hillary.
Boom.
He said, and somebody said, well, there's already been 6 committees chaired by Republicans that said she didn't do anything wrong in any of this, which most people never heard, right? He said, yeah, but look what we did to her numbers. He admitted the whole thing was a fraud. I appreciated that. Because when somebody will tell you the truth, then you can suit up and respond. So he's told us what he's going to do. And he said it all over America. I was just up in the 50-50 areas of New York, north of New York City, in the beautiful Hudson River Valley, campaigning for our candidates up there. And he actually was in the same congressional district I was in, campaigning for their person. And he said, vote for us, and here's what we're going to do. You didn't cause this inflation, but you're going to pay for it, because we're going to cut Social Security. We're going to cut Medicare.
Yes, they will.
Yesterday, he amended and said, we're going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. We're going to get rid of this great bill that Congressman Cuellar talked about, where we can bargain for lower drug prices now through the government because we buy in high volume. Every other country does it, only we don't. Now we can. We're going to get rid of the cap on seniors' drug prices of $2,000 a year. We're going to get rid of the $35 a month cap on insulin prices, even though all over America, people's lives are depending on a ready and affordable supply of insulin. We're going to get rid of all that and let the big pharma do that. We're going to get rid of all the millions of jobs we would get if we dealt with climate change in the right way and dealt with it as an economic opportunity. That's what Michelle says. It's an economic opportunity. If you put up 500,000 recharging stations, and you get Americans to manufacture batteries that last, you won't have to wait very long for gas prices to come down, because big oil won't be able to afford not to compete. The problem with that, by the way, is we're pumping more oil than we did under Trump. Did you know that? We are. But we haven't gotten the refineries back up yet. You bring competition back into this, you put solar panels on every one of these Texas houses in South Texas, and watch people's utility bill be cut in half or more. You're already the leading state in America in the production of wind energy. They just never talk about it because it's against their ideology. I'm telling you, we are in great shape for the next 20 or 40 years. There's no country in the world in a better position than us unless we tear ourselves to pieces over this partisan BS, demeaning each other and calling each other names, terrifying each other, spreading these stupid conspiracy theories. Their nominee for the governor of Arizona says, vote for me and you won't have to worry about who wins the next race. I will never certify any election that I disagree with. Listen, I got beat twice in my long career. I'd kill for that.
Tell the
Yeah,
truth.
they beat me, but heck with it. I'm not certifying them. We're laughing, but it's deadly serious, isn't it? You think about the American dream that drove so many people here, that revolutionized the economy and the society of South Texas. And it was all premised on making something good happen, on empowering people to live their dreams. And now, because we're going through a rough spot, we're supposed to say no. Well, I want to just say one or two things, because I'm telling you, you got some time here to get some more people to the polls. And somebody says to you, well, it's too much inflation. You should say two things. First of all, yeah, there is, but guess what? It's all over the world, and our inflation rate is 30% below what it is in Europe. Our gas prices are lower than they're paying. Our interest rates are lower than they're paying. Our unemployment rate is lower than theirs. And our ability to create jobs is higher. Well, the deficit's too big. Yes, it is. But guess what? It's going to drop over $1 trillion a year this year alone. And next year, it's going to drop another $800 billion. Why? Because the Democrats invested in things that create jobs, and we've got 10 million
That's
more
right.
people.
Woo!
working than
Yes!
we did when Joe Biden was
Yes, sir! Woo!
Now, Henry ought to have said this, but I'm going to say it again. The 4 big bills have passed since we won the White House and a narrow majority in Congress. The recovery bill, you got a lot of money out of it. And what huge amounts of it went to keep small businesses open. Because when there is no activity, and in the teeth of COVID, there was none. I hate all these deficits, but when you don't have any economic activity, the government has to do it. You had it. And we created factories, and we saved millions of jobs, and we gave people the opportunity to stay in their homes or their apartments. We kept healthcare systems open. Not a single Republican voted for it. Then we did the infrastructure bill. Texas has already gotten about $30 billion from it. And it helps not only with roads and bridges, but also giving broadband that's affordable and quick in every rural community in America. It helps to avoid dust storms, droughts, and manage all these climate changes that are real. And it's creating 1.5 million jobs a year for a decade. 13 of them are about 6% of their caucus voted for it. Then the CHIPS bill, which is the easiest thing of all. I mean, basically the Chinese have held us hostage, and there's so many things made with computer chips, and we can't get them. Hillary decided we were going to remodel our homes, and if you've been married nearly 50 years, you've got to learn to have differences of opinion about remodeling your home. So she decided we were going to do it, and it turned out, as most things in our life, she was right and I was wrong. That is, so we got ourselves a nice a bigger screen for our fading eyes, and we put it in there, and then we ordered some new furniture that goes around the deal, and we can't get it to save our lives. Why? Because of disruptions in the supply chain, occasioned largely by the shortage in computer chips and the fact that China's still shut down. I bet it's happened to a lot of people here. All right, so the Democrats said, let's build that stuff here. In New York alone, in a Republican area of New York, upstate, a company named Micron located, and they're going to spend, listen to this, over $50 billion over the next 5 years or 10 years to bring in jobs and create 50,000 jobs unrelated to the plant, except in supplying them and helping people live there. That would have been in China otherwise. It's ours, and it's not inflationary, it's creating a stable economy. And it's going to help every one of us. And it's not just there, it's going to be everywhere in America. There'll be plenty in Texas, I know. So, this was a laydown, right? 24 of them voted for it, 11% of their caucus. So you explain to me, when all these people are calling us names, how they take 5% of our caucus that have on various occasions supported reducing funding for the police and putting it into social services. And none of them who support Venezuelan or Cuban style socialism. And they're supposed to represent us. And they vote against all this stuff in margins between 89 and 100%, and that doesn't define them. If we can't do the basic math there, we need to get in a different line of work. And if you can't tell people what's going to happen to your hospitals and your health care and your loved ones if we cut Medicaid, Medicare, if we cut Social Security, if we stop the protections for pre-existing conditions by going after the Affordable Care Act again, not we, they. If those things happen, then this place won't look the same in 3 years. They're coming for you, and you've got to believe it. I remember when Hillary said they were going to repeal Roe v. Wade, and literally the people who were in the media business, they laughed at her.
Hillary was right.
Like, they'll never do that. I'm telling you, we owe Mr. McCarthy thanks. He says, make me speaker, put me in control, I will cut Medicare. I will cut Social Security. I will kill this drug-saving press. No more $35 a month insulin. No more $2,000 cap on drugs for seniors. No more bargaining for lower prices. And I'm going after the health care law again. It's going to be more expensive for small business. We're going to lose the pre-existing condition. This is what we're going to do. You need to say no. We're going to be for Michelle Vallejo.
Yes! Woo! Yes! Yes!
To build, and we want to go together. And we're sick and tired of all this name calling and all these crazy conspiracies and all this stuff designed to get us to major in the minors. I'm telling you, I will leave today a happy man because I got to spend time seeing the real South Texas.
Yeah! Woo! Sí se puede!
The future you're building and the future you built, don't let them take it away from you.
We love you, Bill.
Don't let them take it away from you. Say, yeah, I'm upset about inflation, and we're fixing it. And we got to get used to the fact that it was a big problem we couldn't get fixed right now. But we've done all the big things, and I'm not going to put you in and let you tear it up and then take credit when we start feeling better for what the Democrats did when it was hard that you opposed. Vote for your future.
Yes.
Vote for your children, or in my case, your grandchildren.
Yes.
Vote for them. You know what the right thing to do is. And I'm telling you, you've got time. Between now and the close of polls tomorrow, call everybody you can find.
Yes,
Talk to
sir.
people about it.
Yes, sir.
And say all good elections are about tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
This is not Halloween. We do not have to take their scary picture of today or tomorrow. We are better than that.
Yes, we are.
I want to thank you again for 50 years.
Stronger
of trips I have
together.
come here. I have watched 50 years of changes in South Texas. They are a metaphor for what America could be
Yeah.
at its best. And I am grateful. But there are no permanent victories or defeats in politics. You have got to keep fighting.
That's right.
And you've got a great candidate here.
Yes, 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 yes. Woo!
You have two congressmen who approved they'll vote for you, and Senate just tear the building down. Go out and get it. You can celebrate on Tuesday night if you show America that you can't be overlooked.
Yes,
You
we
can't be
will.
forgotten,
Woo!
And you know how to build a future together.
Yes.
God bless you.